Hello everybody, welcome back to the InGear Motorsport live stream. You're joining us for our Euro series tonight and we're doing rounds 3 and 4, but that's not the most important thing about this live stream. The most important thing is it's Charlotte's birthday.
Committed to the cause.
Yeah, I mean, I did offer to go solo. She wanted to relax, but she's committed, she's here.
Yeah.
How's your day been?
Yeah, I've had a really good day, thanks. I've actually been looking forward to this, to be fair, because this track, I mean, how many people are going to get drive-through penalties for track limits in the next 30 minutes? So, yeah, no, really looking forward to it. I had a really good day, thanks. Got my balloons. So, yeah. Yeah,
and obviously a toast for the birthday, so things could get a bit lively on stream tonight. So, Ben Meeker's probably got a... Ben Meeker's got a monster in the background. Oh, he's got a bottle of beer. The race director's on the beer, everyone. So
God.
We've got that to look forward to.
People.
Yeah, as always, we'll be live across Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Feel free to comment, like, and share, and all the good stuff. And we can see the comments coming through as they do. And I'd love to kind of find out how everyone's doing. And yeah, keep chatting away all night, I guess. And let us know what you think of the racing and anything that you spot or whatever. But yeah, so let's take a quick look at timings for tonight, just in case anyone is new or not seen our live streams before, so you know what's coming up. We'll run through that for you quickly. But basically, it's 2 rounds, so 2 races. Each of the races are 30 minutes in length. The first one kick off at around 10 to 8, but the drivers have just started qualifying a few moments ago. So you can see that in the small screen on the right-hand side. We'll jump into the game very shortly
and it's raining.
See. And it's raining. You like the rain, don't you?
Yeah.
So once the first 30-minute race is finished, they have a quick break, which is basically what official practice is, at 8:20, and then the second qualifying starts. We do it all again at 8:30, moving on with another 30-minute race to round things off from 10 to 9, and then it's all wrapped up by 9:30. I had to think about that for a second.
You okay?
Not sure, we'll see how we go. I only had one sip.
Yeah, I think we might be running a couple of minutes behind, but hey. We're not going anywhere till the 21st of June anyway, so.
But yeah, you'll notice when you're looking on the screen with Charlotte and I, that mentions at the bottom about the Discord, and you can come and join these races and get involved if you're someone who plays Assetto, Corsa, Competizione. We play on PC, we've got our own servers, and we all kind of race together on our championships on there. So yeah, do come and get involved if you want to. Great to have you. And as I say, let us know who's watching. Give us a little hello in chat. It'd be good to see who's here tonight and find out how everyone's getting on. But I think we might as well, since qualifying's underway, jump straight in.
Yeah.
So last time out then was the first 2 races of this Euro series. It's going to be across 4 tracks. The first 3 tracks will do 2 races, and then the last is a 90-minute race at Catalonia, which is going to be pretty grueling, I imagine, for the guys. But Paul Ricard in the rain, which we're doing tonight, can also be equally quite challenging. So plenty of opportunities for things to get tricky for the guys tonight, for sure. We've also had a bit of a shake-up where the InGear Motorsport car, Chrissy Palmer, has switched car. So essentially, we do allow that, but then their score doesn't count in the previous car. So Chrissy's essentially starting from scratch and counting the first race as his drop score. Otherwise was running, I think, 3rd in the championship. So that'll drop him back to 0. However, it means he's now in a car he's much happier with, which is the McLaren, which I believe you can see on your screens at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's done that. Like, what was his reasoning behind that?
Yeah, I'm not sure, because he was loving the Ferrari to start with, and then decided to switch it up and didn't like it for Paul Ricard, and most of the other tracks that we're going to. So I think the McLaren just sort of suits his style a bit more. So you can see Chrissy at the moment, currently in 5th. We've got 10 minutes of the 15-minute qualifying session left. It doesn't actually look like there's any times on the board yet. But we have 2. We've got Dominic Stallman and Michael Curran currently, 1st and 2nd. But a few drivers yet to join or missing, I would say, as well. So a few other people potentially looking at dropped score rounds tonight, or if they don't make it, then they kind of have that luxury of saving some points in that way. So essentially, well, Charlotte, you've probably raced and stuff with drop scores I have over the years. So you want to run through how that works?
Yeah, so I guess it's kind of like a bit of a banker weekend, isn't it? So most championships will run anywhere between 8 rounds, probably, normally, sometimes 6, I guess, but usually about 8 rounds. In car racing, a couple of point scoring races in each round. Karting is slightly different, like that one round counts, but there's many more rounds than 8 with that. But what it effectively does allow you to do is have a bit of a stinker of a weekend, and it not just completely mess up your whole championship. Basically, it kind of keeps you in the running. It brings the racing down to be a lot closer, so that it's not a done deal by, you know, a few rounds in. I think that's something that British Touring, I think they with always going down to the wire, and I think it's an important thing to keep people like invested in watching it. I think let's be honest, that's something that Formula One struggles with.
Yeah, definitely. When one driver's won away with the championship, I know a lot of people stop watching, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing. Also, where this is meant to be fun and essentially, you know, casual for the guys to come on and enjoy some serious racing, but in a fun environment. It's just a nice way that if they do miss a race or anything like that, can't commit to all of them, then they still can kind of enjoy and compete on a level with everyone. Pauline said happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, I didn't see that. Thank you. Hello.
How's things going?
I was going to say that she recovered after looking after Danny in the 24-hour race. I think a few of the guys are probably still a bit worn out from that one at the weekend. That's pretty full on, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think they did it right in the end, though. I think PA was on in class, so they had a good result. It's not easy doing 24 hours for sure. But Danny's back actually. Danny Price, so one of the Sheep Garage drivers. I think the only Sheep Garage driver that we've got turned up tonight actually. So just have a little look down the order. Yes, it is. We also have Harry Melvin back. He did the Porsche Cup with us a little while ago, but he's back and he's now in a InGear Motorsport car.
Yeah, I was going to say you haven't really announced this. Well, you've announced it on our social medias, but yeah, probably should give him an intro while we've got time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know his full sort of esports background, but he's done a lot in iRacing and other leagues. Really enjoys it. He also works at Mercedes, well, believe it or not, as does Chrissy and I. So kind of where we met each other, Chrissy and I, and Harry's there now as well. But it's been shut for so long, I've never actually seen him there. But yeah, he's joined us for the remainder of this series, and then going to be putting on like a full assault for the British GT Championship, which we're going to start in April, which I think a lot of the guys are really excited about. So he'll be back for that, but look for the orange cars. So we were watching Chrissy just now, and then we're on to Melvin. So you can see he's got orange and purple elements, and Chrissy's got orange, red and gold on his car. So that's how you can tell the two apart. What I think would be quite nice before we get too far into qualifying is to actually jump on board with someone now. I was just going to say Chrissy, but I noticed on the other screen he's stopped. So let's find someone who is running. I see Heathy Keefe's just joined as well. So he's currently P2 and looking all right, actually. So if I could get our race director to put everyone onto Kirk Heath in the Aston Martin. He's just going up the mile-long Mistral straight at the moment. It's a 3.5 mile long track, Paul Ricard, and it's a very long straight. I do quite like that though, because it means you've got opportunities for slipstreaming and overtaking when otherwise it might be quite tricky. So it just helps encourage the overtaking in these races. See, we're still going.
Yeah, I'm just looking just to see who's in it, to be honest. P8 at the moment is hybrid car. That's an interesting name on a birth certificate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bit of a random one, but yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we've also got Bjorkman returning with the Spearhead Race Engineering team that him and Curran formed, and they've also got Renberg in there with them as well. So those guys are back to increase their championship lead, which they've currently got at the moment. So they'll be looking to continue with that. Danny's repping Shiva Garage on his own, it would seem, tonight. Bit of a shame because they usually score some pretty good points. Heath for West Midlands with Sharman. And then you've got Dominic Stallman, and have I seen Roland Stallman yet? Yes, I have. So they're Vegas Sim Performance. So those are kind of the key competitors for the championship for the team side of things. But yeah, Bjorkman currently is leading the point standings at the moment with a whopping 35 points with a first and a third in the first race. Does mean, however, he's going to be carrying 20 kilograms of ballast for this qualifying and the race. So that'll be making things a bit trickier for him. And Chrissy will have 10 kilograms of ballast. So you can see that if we bring up the timing screen on the stream, you'll see just over on the right-hand side those little notifications there that's been added on. So race director's awake and added ballast to the people. As he just confirms in my ear. So don't forget, if you're watching on chat, let us know who's there, how things are going. wish Charlie a happy birthday if you want.
The big day.
Yeah.
The big day.
Right, well, we've kind of been on board for Heath, and then we're back now where we was. So just to try and hone you in then, as you come to the end of this long straight, Warren Heath. Oh, Warren, I've just seen Warren's message over on YouTube about Kirk joining, but Kirk is in now, so we're riding on board with him. So he's all good as he brakes and darts the nose of that Aston Martin into the corner at the end of the long Mistral straight. And lots of track limits that could go wrong here. Look like you're about to say something.
Yeah, no, I'm actually just messaging Ben in the background. I don't know whether there's a server issue or something like that, because we've just had someone in the Discord chat. It just seems like if he could take a little look, or George in the background. Yeah, probably should mention that George is back with us again this week, so thanks very much, George. So he's going to be getting the replays at the ready and posting bits and pieces on our social media, so on Instagram, etc. It takes a lot of work to get this, doesn't it? And it's certainly a growing team, I think, is probably the best way to describe it, which is really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the background. I can see at the moment Chrissy Palmer's provisional pole position at the moment. Kirk Heath, the man we're riding on board with, as he crosses the start-finish line, is coming into turn 1, which is a fast left-right chicane. There is some orange inside sausage curves that you can't hit, otherwise that's pretty much track limits. There is some cones that start off there, but they don't last very long before someone, what the word I'm looking for, bops them out of the way. Same with this chicane that he's coming into at the moment. You'll find you've got to really be careful track limits on track on Paul Ricard.
Yeah, and I think it was here when we was last here, God, it seems like ages ago, that Dan O'Brien didn't he get a drive-through or something like that, and Neil was waiting for him in the back. He kind of knew that it was happening. He could tell by the way that Dan O'Brien was driving that he wasn't kind of driving his normal way, and he wasn't kind of pushing quite as hard. So Neil kind of just sat behind, and then yeah, I think within a lap or two, Danny was having to do a drive-through penalty, wasn't he? So definitely something to watch out for on this track, especially because it's wet. I don't know, Mackenzie, probably a question for you, but have the guys spent much time testing on it? Because obviously we know that the new British tracks have been on, so probably a lot of attention has been on that, and the guys are doing 24-hour as well. So
yeah, I think a lot of the main crew, we haven't seen a great deal of them on the server, so I don't think they've tested much, if at all. I know Chrissy and Melvin did manage to get a little bit in the last couple of days, but again, not a huge amount. Dom Stallman usually finds time to test somewhere along the lines, but not sure if they have or haven't. I haven't seen them, so I think they tend to maybe test offline or something. I'm not 100% sure. So let's just switch to someone else and get another perspective, because Chrissy Palmer may well be back out on track, I think, so we could sort of ride on board with him, or certainly pick him up on the cameras and see how he's going.
Yeah, good to see Danny up at the pointy end. You just sort of flicked away there on the screen, but he's making progress and kind of jumping up the grid. And Danny Price is always pretty good in the wet, isn't he? He manages to just kind of keep it. He gets caught in the odd incident, not really inflicted himself, but he just kind of manages to keep it together and almost let the others drop off a little bit. So this is literally about the guys keeping it on the track, as silly as that sounds, and not, like you say, boffing it off too early just because, you know, it's wet out there or make silly mistakes.
Yeah, and it's so easily done, isn't it? What's interesting is we haven't seen that Lexus get itself up on the front row yet of Bjorkman, and it's so fast in a straight line, that car, and then some of the other guys make up a bit of time in the corners. I thought it would be potentially a bit quicker around here, but also, you know, the weather conditions are going to be playing its part. We haven't had a wet race for a while, so it'll be interesting to see how some of the drivers that are newer to the league get on in them sort of conditions. So if you're watching, don't forget you can come and get involved in all this if you want to in our Discord server, and also we can see your comments in chat. So if you want to post, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, then Charlotte and I will see them in the commentary box and shout out whatever you've got to share, within reason.
I was going to say, yeah, keep it PC.
So you're currently watching Dom Stallman, then one of the Vegas Sim Performance cars, and currently second place man in the championship. So he'll be looking to try and get ahead of Robert Bjorkman, which at the moment looks like he's doing not too bad a job of doing. And doing a bit of a skid as well, by the looks of things.
commentator's curse is kicking in already.
I think every time we put the camera onto him, something like that happens. Where's he off to there? That's not the track. Big skids.
I mean, that's
good timing there, Mr. Dom Stallman.
Yeah, I was going to say it's rare that you see him make a mistake at all. But I think
that last bit was just having a bit of fun.
Oh, okay. I'll take my eyes off the screen. It just shows how slippery it is out there at the moment, though, doesn't it?
Definitely, yeah. Well, around 14 drivers, it means there's good opportunities for points. We were 30 strong at the start of the first couple rounds, so where it happens was a few people offering some free points up pretty much tonight to the other drivers in the series. But we'll take a full look at the qualifying roundup in just a moment, but let's just take a quick break and we'll be back in a sec. Hello everybody then, welcome back for round 3 of the GT3 Euro Series at a wet Paul Ricard over in France. Drivers on the grid ready to go, so we'll be starting very, very shortly. And at the end of qualifying, it was Chrissy Palmer for InGear Motorsport that took pole position, so that'll be good for him to claw back some points after his car change means he's technically on 0 at the moment, but he is running with a success ballast from his last race, so he's been kind of doubly hard done by on this one. He's got his work cut out for him, but he's made it work so far in qualifying. Kirk Heath in the Aston Martin for West Midlands Racing is in second. Dominic, that's a great performance by him actually.
I was just going to say, yeah.
Good job by Heath. Stallman in third, Bjorkman, current championship leader, in 4th place. Melvin is in 5th place. Roland Stallman, the other Stallman driver for Vegas Performance, is in 6th. Danny Price 7th, Curran 8th, Renberg 9th, who's returned to the league again, which you can see him back. Corsia in 10th, Sharman in 11th, Patek in 12th, and we've got 2 Pateks, El Patek and M Patek, who have joined in tonight as well. So good to see them guys here joining in for the server. It is an open server at the moment. We'll be starting to lock them in the near future, but people can just come and join, see what they think, race with us, and then come and enter for the championships separately if they want to. So they start their formation period then. Just a couple corners, and then they will basically get up in line. They can go through each other at this point, so if the cars do kind of touch, they essentially just don't. But
for me, it was like that.
Funny, it was like that in real life, yeah. Make life easier, wouldn't it? So Chrissy in the orange McLaren on the right-hand side, Heath in the black and yellow Aston Martin, the white Porsche is Dominic Stallman, and then you've got the black Lex behind them. The lights are out, and away we go then, hurtling down into the first chicane. Looks like Chrissy gets away. Stallman has a fantastic start actually and jumps past into second and challenges for the lead as well. What a fast start from that Porsche coming into the first corner. Bjorkman hangs on to 4th. Melvin's tucked up behind him nicely, looking like he can capitalise on it. But it's Heath versus Bjorkman at the moment. Heath trying to hang on to 3rd place. Can he quite do that? We're not sure. You can just see they're now neck and neck as they're going to start this long, long run into Mistral straight in a couple corners' time. So that could be interesting if they don't sort it out by then. It looks like Heath has got the jump, I would say. Quite an aggressive start by Dom Stallman there, actually. Nothing wrong by it, but I just mean that he was actually quite assertive and got himself up into second. But really good start.
I was going to say, this is always the way, isn't it, between the Chrissy and Stallman battle, that Dom knows, both of them know exactly what they need to do within their opening couple of corners for both of them. Just one to watch here is this Bjorkman and Melvin battle that you can kind of see is going to start to hot up. I think there actually was a little bit of contact a couple of corners ago, so probably keep an eye on that
might jump into the Discord in just a moment. But yeah, really, really tricky conditions for these guys. So I think that's a solid effort for them all to get around the first couple of corners with no big dramas. And especially in that middle pack, it's one of those really frustrating things. You tend to get caught up in more because it's where you are. So it's putting in that time to try and get you right up to the pointy end. But yeah, it's difficult, isn't it, to get out that middle into what I'd say is like the top 4, top 5, anything sort of 6, 7, 8, 9. It's tricky. Yeah,
it is hard, especially in these conditions, as Melvin looks like he's trying to find a way past Bjorkman. Bjorkman looks like he's struggling in these open stages to switch those tyres on and get the car going. What would be interesting, if we could just go in car with Melvin very briefly, you'll get an idea of what it's like and how much you see. Even in light rain like this, it's not the easiest to try and figure out what's going on in front of you. So you can see he's probably dropped back about the length of the car there, so half a second or so. Behind Bjorkman, look at the spray coming up, and it's, like I say, light rain at the moment. When you're trying to pick your braking markers, stop the car in the right places, and all of those things, it does get very, very tricky. So in we come into turn 1, then you can see the battle of Heath and Stallman up ahead, and actually Heath's got himself in front of Dom Stallman, which has happened while all this has been going on as well. It looks like Bjorkman and Melvin are reeling them in a little bit, and like Charlotte says, this is all just playing into the hands of Chrissy Palmer at the moment. Yeah, they're going to bunch up a little bit. It's going to be interesting to get to the Mistral straight. Looks like Melvin's got a good job through that second chicane there. Bjorkman's going a bit defensive coming into the hairpin, and Melvin's actually getting a bit of a look as they go through the fast right-hander here. And they manage to make it stick. They both get round. Good driving by both of those guys
very,
there.
Very twitchy. I think Bjorkman's just struggling, like you say, to get those tyres on and just get the power down coming out of those corners, where Melvin seems to have it sort of hooked up a little bit more at the moment. So
yeah, going well. First race for InGear Motorsport. We're currently running P4 then for Melvin, but Bjorkman's looking like he fancies having to go back, and that Lexus is so quick in a straight line. Look at that. He's pretty much able to drive past and nearly tuck back in, just about onto the racing line, and then Melvin has to do it all again to try and get past. Now again, that's going to jeopardise both their chances for a podium if they squabble too much. So you've got to be looking to try and work together a little bit and catch the guys ahead. But good for Chris at the moment, as I think Stallman just lost it. Yeah, that was Dom Stallman just lost the rear end of that Porsche, like we saw him doing qualifying actually. Although we're not sure if that was intentional in quality or not, but that one definitely wouldn't have been. And now has to drop down to 6th place. So
behind his dad.
Yeah. So you've got the 2 Vegas Sim Performance cars in the background of your shot there, with his battle raging on with Melvin as he's now made his way back past, as a result of that incident, on to Bjorkman. So Melvin back into 3rd, well, he's into 3rd now because Dom Stallman's gone and dropped down a few places. So not the best of starts for the Vegas Sim drivers, although Roland is chipping away there up into 5th now. And Chrissy still continues to build out a gap, currently 5.4 seconds ahead of Kirk Heath.
Yeah, I mean, when you actually look at that, it's a really good shot that we've got here on the screen at the moment. The guys are still pretty close together, aren't they, as a whole? Curran looks like he's made a good start there. I think he finished qualified, just behind Danny Price. He's managed to make that move, get past Danny, and now he's actually, pretty close within a second to Stallman. So he knows that he kind of just needs to but it's almost like being dragged along, isn't it? In that sense, it's probably a really bad way of describing it, but just stick with it. Don't fight. Just get back up to that pointy end, because when the weather is like this, anything can happen. You just need to be within striking distance all the time.
Definitely. Let's just take a chance to see how Danny Price is getting on a bit further down the field, in 8th at the moment with the multicoloured BMW M6 there. Interesting livery this time out that the Shiba guys have gone for. I think that's actually just one of the game ones that's used in the real world as well, because a lot of the guys actually have their own custom liveries that they make, that you'll see. So that Spearhead Race Engineering one of Bjorkman and Curran, and the others is actually one that they've designed, which I think looks awesome. They put a lot of time into that, and then of course Chrissy and Melvin have just unveiled the new one for the McLaren as well. So looking like he's trying to chase down Curran at the moment, who is 4 seconds ahead, and he's got Couturier in 2.5 seconds behind him. So yeah, Danny Price in a little bit of no man's land potentially at the moment, but he may well be up to real, and actually he is reeling Curran in a little bit by a couple of attempts to look at it.
Yeah, not always a bad place to be there, sort of kind of, it's a difficult place to be kind of sort of on your own, but not necessarily a bad thing when it could kick off at that point in, because again, you can see him just in the back of shot. He's not too far away. We're just looking at a couple of screens here.
Could I just ask that we jump up to the Stallmans, because I think there's going to be a little bit of action there in a couple of laps' time. Potentially, if we sit on the rear wing of Roland Stallman, we'll be able to look back at Dom. So, yeah, you've got the speed race drive, quite a little team standing. We have the people that are registered to compete. And they'll be looking to get some nice points, and of course rule one of racing is don't crash into your teammates. So Dom will be trying to get past. He was qualified higher up than Roland, but they'll need to do it in a way where they don't lose too much time. It actually looks like they're catching Bjorkman and Melvin at the moment, just 1.1 seconds back from the car ahead of the one we're riding on board with. Interesting to see how this is shaping up so far, but a nice sterling job by Chrissy out front for sure. If you're watching, guys, in chat, we can see it. We'd love to chat with you. Love to tell us what you've been up to today, how things are going, who you think's going to win, anything at all like that. Pop it in the chat and we can get a convo going.
Yeah, I mean, you must be pretty happy with this at the moment, Mackenzie. So Chrissy in P1 and Harry on his debut race with InGear Motorsport in the team in P3. That's a pretty good outing effort, and
I just saw him get a bit sideways on another screen.
Yeah, I was going to say we're still you know, on the back of our Stallman's car there, but yeah, we've got another screen going. As I mentioned Harry's name, you could see he was twitching around.
Yeah,
there,
I just moved it away from there, so
yeah,
we're not watching it at all anymore. As looks like we've gone wide with Dom and Roland, and lost the back end of that car again. And loses not one but two places. Now with that will be Renberg coming through, number 200 there. In fact, no, that'll be Curran. Timing screen will update in just a second. There you go. And they're now neck and neck as they head down the start-finish straight. Who's going to get it? Roland Stallman in the white Porsche and Curran in the inside of the Lexus. Again, they're managing to run nice and closely together, these guys, tonight, and doing a pretty good job of it, actually. You know, that was well thought off by Roland there. That was nice driving. Curran by all means had that move done and just then couldn't quite finish it off, and Roland just come back round. The traction of that Porsche is always pretty phenomenal. But then as we get onto Mistral straight in a minute, I think that Lexus may well find its way back past, or find its way past, but we shall soon see. So yeah, Roland Stallman in the white Porsche, and Curran trying to get past at the moment, trying to just check everything out.
And you can see in the background that Danny Price is starting to rein them in.
Yeah.
Bit, so I'm just keeping an eye here through my very pixelated screen, as it always is, unfortunately. hint to whoever it is that needs to fix that. But yeah, I don't know if you can see slightly bigger on your screen in front of you, Mackenzie. Keep an eye on Danny Price, because why these two, so why Curran and Stallman start to swivel.
It just looks like Curran's going to the inside, so I'm just going to stop you there just to see that, because I think he's made it work this time. Runs a bit wide on the way out. Can he get it stopped into the next corner? Then he's home and dry. Sorry, I just wanted to pick that up while it was going, but what was you going to say about Danny?
I was tending to ignore you for a second there. While these two are squabbling, Danny Price is he's getting onto the back of them now, so you could see a third car in this two-car kind of battle at the moment, which is good. So I know that we've got a couple of guys that are trying to join into the server who are DMing the team in the background privately. Yeah, you'll be able to get into the server once this race is finished, so you've got about 20 minutes to go for that one. I know Ben's pretty flat out monitoring all of this for us, so if he's a little bit slow on the responses, then yeah, he's doing a good job of being an octopus, isn't he? That's for sure.
Hands flying everywhere at race director's house at the moment. Have a nice can of Monster Energy, the unofficial, not official sponsor of this live stream. One day we'll get that Monster sponsorship. For anyone on there from the few viewers that tune in, happen to be the marketing director for Monster Energy, please do hit me up. We could broadcast your brand to the tens of people that tune in every other week. Right. This battle's still pretty close between Curran and Stallman, which is good. Let's just take a look a bit further up. We've not really seen much of Chrissy Palmer. Should we just drop in on him and see how he's getting on up front there? Because he's doing a good job of keeping Heath at bay. So Heath's in the blue Aston Martin that you'll see just in the back of shot there as they come at the end of Mistral Straight into the fast right. You might be wondering what those little, what looks like cards poking out of the ground are. Those are basically sensors for track limits. So if the cars go too far off track, then they can get penalised. So you get 3 warnings, and then the 4th time you do it, you get a drive-through penalty. So not ideal to do it to get caught running off the track too often. And being a game, it means that it can see every single time you do it. You're not relying on the eyes of a person like in the real world. So you literally get 3 chances, and then the 4th one you're out. So those sensors are something they use at Paul Ricard to pick that up. So again, I guess in a way you can't really cheat the system. Then if you trigger the sensor, then you will get warnings. You'll also see the little orange cones on the inside of some of the corners as Chrissy runs very close there on the way out, with the rear end sliding around just a little bit in that McLaren. But looking nice and settled so far. And actually, I've just noticed that Heath's dropped back a little bit more there. I think it's just as the timer screens are updating actually. But yeah, good job for Heath so far in P2. So nice driving by the guys at the front. Let's just see if we've got any battles going on a little bit further down the grid. Good opportunity for him to get points. Renberg is currently in the points in P10. So the points go down to 10th. And where we've got a smaller grid on this particular race, I think a lot of people just don't like the rain or something like that. You tend to find that in these sorts of games. But yeah, so that means there's good chances for points, which is good for the guys.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things with wet races, isn't it? Kind of, it's a bit of a Marmite situation. You either love it or you hate it. I think personally, if you can get your head around it and enjoy it, it brings you on as a driver, you know, because you have to smooth things out. You have to sort of feel things, you know, through the seat, I guess, is probably the best way to describe it. And we know that the way these sim setups, that some of the guys that are competing in this at the moment have got, you know, serious setups. So they're able to do that. So it's just, yeah, it's just getting on with it, isn't it? Is the way I look at it.
Yeah, definitely. I was just looking at the at Curran's livery again. Every time it comes up, I'm always a big fan of that. Should we go into the sort of close-up camera where we can kind of show everyone? They put a lot of work into these. I think it's always nice just to show you. So you can see the InGear Motorsport sticker on the back. I kindly run the correct stickers for the series.
Very important. If my dad was running the championship, he would not be on the grid if he didn't have the right stickers on. In the British Championships, it was what he was known for in his time.
We don't, yeah, I mean, we don't make it a rule quite as much as what Martin would have done back in the day, but it's always
quite
nice.
A lot of sponsorship at stake for it to be right in his defence. So.
You can see the Scottish flag on the back. We normally have a fair few Scots in the server, but a bit light on the Scottish department tonight. It's just Michael Curran running in 6th place at the moment that we're looking at. But yeah, they've done a nice job of that one, haven't they? In the Lexus, the very fast Lexus as well. It has been so far in the first race at Spa, but definitely struggling that little bit more in the rain tonight here at Paul Ricard. So we're just approaching half race distance already, and actually still fairly close. If you think that Heath's only a few seconds behind Chrissy, that means Chrissy can't let off, can he? You've got to just keep putting in those lap times. And then Melvin's still hanging on to 3rd, who is 10 seconds behind Heath. Sorry, 5 seconds behind Heath, so not looking too bad at all there. They're now officially approached the halfway mark.
So I seem to be dropping everything, so apologies if you guys can hear a load of like whatever going on. I think the more careful I'm trying to be near the microphone, the worse it's actually going for me, my iPad and laptop and things like that. Yeah, see, Danny Price is in there, isn't he, still? So let's keep an eye on that gap. So he's 2 seconds, 2.7 seconds currently.
Can we just jump to Melvin? Sorry, yeah. Just quickly. Can we go to Melvin, please, race, who is neck and neck alongside Heath, challenging for P2 now as they go up the long straight, the mile-long Mistral Straight. Look at that, come underneath the circuit, Paul Ricard sign, going to hit the brakes, and Melvin's trying to go around the outside at this point in time. Let's see if he can make that stick. No, he doesn't, tucks back in. Just went out of shot there and then comes back in, has to hang on to 3rd for the time being. So Heath is still sticking in P2 at the moment. Melvin looks like he's going to get the cut back though, coming out of the tight right-hander, but it then goes left after this. So Heath will have the inside line again. So the orange car with the purple elements, that's Melvin. And then you've got Heath in the Aston Martin, who had a little bit of a squirm under brakes there. There was a tiny touch there. There's definitely no harm intended by the driver there. That was just good, hard, firm racing, I think, between the two. But still, Heath hanging on to P2. Now that one was looking a bit closer because I saw Melvin was starting to slide a little bit into that corner and could have just clipped the rear end of Heath's car, but manages to hang on to it. Good stuff by both of these drivers so far. In fact, I'm thinking perhaps we jump on board with Melvin so you can get an idea of what you see from a driver's eye level. Because you might think you've still got to pick your braking markers, apexes, and you've got a load of spray being kicked up in your face. The track isn't that wet, it's just kind of more light rain really that's been coming down, so you can see there is some standing water, but yeah, it could be a lot worse. Okay, right, coming into the chicane. I think it's probably going to happen again once we get around to the long straight. Slipstreaming can take effect, and what's great about this track is it does shake things up a little bit. If you can get close to someone, then you can just latch onto their slipstream, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see this isn't easy for Harry. He's having to work pretty hard here, isn't he? You can see that he's having to get a bit of lock off every now and then a little bit quicker than maybe he's expecting. You know, this isn't certainly not one of those drives where you can just like settle in, that's for sure.
What I'm noticing as well is that Bjorkman, in the bottom left corner, you can see the gaps. Bjorkman is 2.3 back. Here we go then. So Heath goes to the right-hand side defensive. Melvin has to go wide, just like he did last time round. Is he going to make it stick? Heath still gets the inside line, but then goes wide, way wide, off onto the outside. You see the cone gets absolutely obliterated in the background there. Although rejoins not too far back as Melvin then backs the car into the next corner.
I think they both had a little moment there. I think they were both fully committed to the moment though.
If you could see inside the cockpits, or if you could see inside the sim rigs that they're sat in the real world, I bet their eyes are on stalks right now in their VR headsets. So it's now Heath trying to attack back on Melvin. What an awesome little scrap these two are having so far. I think Heath might have been on testing a little bit of them over the last couple of nights. I'm not 100% on that though. But yeah, they've been certainly putting some laps in.
Am I right in thinking Heath's coming across to InGear Motorsport?
Probably for the next season.
Right, okay.
Yeah. We decided that Chrissy shouldn't be having to try and get all the points on his own. We should get someone else to try and help.
I think with this whole team thing as well, it's really important. Not only is it to get the points, but this is where these guys can work together, work on setups together. Of course, you're going to tweak and things like that, but it's definitely a big advantage to have a few people in a team that can be trying different things out, bouncing different ideas off of one another.
Definitely, and Chrissy said that, just have someone to try other setups. You can essentially try things twice as fast. One person can go one way of a setup, one person can go another, and it helps.
So we've got Bjorkman in the background there. He's about to get involved in this as well. So this is going to get quite tasty quite quickly one way or another, isn't it? 10 minutes left, so we're 2/3 of the way through. So Harry's doing a really good job here at the moment, isn't he, to keep his cool? Yeah,
and I think what's nice, I've kind of said it already, but when there has been racing between drivers tonight, it's been kept firm but fair between them, which is also a big part of what's great about having a community like this where people race together with the same people. You're jumping in and out of different leagues, you get then different people to race against, so you kind of don't know what to expect. They might crash into you or whatever. I mean, this could still happen, and this looks like a risky moment as they go into that corner, but no, they make it work. He's not one to rest on his laurels either. He will have a move if he can. So Melvin, as he goes a bit wide, I think he's going to give... Oh, please don't touch.
I keep leaning back in my seat thinking that that's going to stop it from happening.
See, again, that was just really, really nicely held by both of them. When you're floating across the track and it's wet like this and the car's starting to slide, you've got to then worry about not hitting another car. It's hard work.
Okay, so question for you then. What is Bjorkman probably thinking at the moment, watching these two scrap like dog and cat pretty much out there at the moment?
If it was me and I was in the seat, and I think he is quite a clever driver, he will just be waiting to see what happens. There's no point sort of joining the accident if one happens. You want to give yourself a bit of space just to react to whatever might go on in front of you. And I think that's what he's doing. He's sitting with a nice sort of comfortable second gap. He'll be pushing to probably get a bit closer when they start battling. But yeah, you don't want to kind of show your hand too soon, if you will. So he'll be probably just chilling out for the moment and capitalising on whatever these two when they scrap. But they've kind of settled down. As I say that, I think he has to wait for another couple of corners for sure. But I think they've kind of settled down a little bit now, where they can hopefully just try and get some laps in and pull away from sort of 4th place backwards. Quite a big gap actually then to 5th, which is Roland Stallman at the moment, but still a strong points haul for the guys. But currently then, InGear Motorsport P1 and P2 with Chrissy Palmer and Harry Melvin, so good job to the boys there. Now you might think watching the InGear Motorsport League that it's just going to be full of InGear Motorsport drivers winning all the time, but we haven't actually won a series yet, so it'll be nice to see if we can get some solid points results in there. Mostly where we'd like to say Chrissy's kind of been on his own with a lot of it,
I think Chrissy got very unlucky in the last round of the last championship that we run. I think
he goes up the inside again. Melvin goes for the cut. I mean, look at the space between them. It's yeah, that was coming for a few laps, wasn't it? Can they get going again without losing too many spaces? See, that's what they've been managing to avoid for quite a few laps, where one's on the inside, the car slides a little bit, and you just connect with the other, and once you touch, that's it. Both cars were pretty level going into that, I'd say. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I think you just have to put that down to one of them things. I think knowing both of the drivers as well, there definitely wouldn't have been any intention in it, and the chances are, I mean, I haven't dropped down into it, sometimes I do, but in that Discord chat, they can imagine that there was quite a lot of noise coming from Heath at that point. Yeah, I think Harry's got the pace there, hasn't he? You know, yep, he's lost a little bit of time for sure, but I think if he just kind of cracks on, hopefully in the sort of the closing 6 minutes or so, he'll be able to. And is that Heath letting him back past?
Yeah,
come on, like.
Yeah, there you go. Look, that's proper racing, that is, isn't it? I need to watch that again. It's hard to see it in the short spaces of time that we get. I don't know if we've got replays working tonight.
Yeah, I think George is having a bit of a mare with his IT side of things. I think his computer's having a meltdown. Oh no, he's already on it. I take that back. Sorry, George. Yeah, no, he's already on it. Going to get the replay. But yeah, I think that's great between what just happened there. What it has done, however, is let Bjorkman get into P2.
Yeah, current championship leader, 4th on the grid. I think he was, might have been 3rd. Is now in solid points positions. Now, what it will mean, because we run success ballast, Chrissy already had, was it 5 or 10? 10 kilograms. Bjorkman already had 20. It's an additional 15 for a win and 10 for second. So Bjorkman will go up to 30 kilograms ballast, and Chrissy will go up to 25 kilograms ballast if it finishes as it is now. And basically the way that works, if they then finish off the podium, it then gets cleared and they go back to no ballast. So there's definitely some bonuses, I guess, or some silver lining if you do happen to finish off the podium, because it means no ballast for following races, which currently Heath's the first man to get that privilege, as he's going to look to make the move back on Melvin again. What I was going to say is I'm pretty sure, I mean, I need to see this replay now when we get it, but I'm pretty sure it was Heath defending and Melvin attacking, and it was then Heath that come off better, which, so the lead car stayed the lead car. So I'm surprised that he did choose to let him off, but then equally, Melvin was coming up the inside, and maybe Heath didn't see him until too late and could have given him more space and felt that he wanted to give it back. So we'll see. We'll see, and it'll be interesting to see if we can talk to the guys about it afterwards.
Yeah, is it worth us just checking in? We've seen a lot of these guys naturally that we could just stay with these guys, couldn't we? Because there's been so much action. Yeah. But let's just have a little look further down the field and see what the score is.
Let's probably just click through them a little bit, shall we? So we've got Dominic Stallman in 6th at the moment in the Vegas Sim Porsche. So he's still behind Roland Stallman, so you'll just see sort of the front shot. At times, the first of the white Porsches goes through. The second one is Don Stallman, currently 2nd in the championship, so he'll drop down a little bit there. Curran's then back from him in 7th, so you can see the Spearhead Race Engineering at Lexus there. Then Danny Price for Sheba Garage, the lone Sheba Garage driver for this evening, in 8th place for the BMW. Very multicoloured BMW.
I love that,
as well.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, what's everyone's favourite livery out there? That would be good to see as we've clicked through a few of them there. Who do you like? Which car do you like the look of the most? And then we've got Patek, also in a Porsche. Couturier, also in a Porsche, sorry, in an AMG, get my words out.
Right.
Then Alexis of Renberg, who is also in the Spearhead Race Engineering crew. And then rounding out the current runners that are left in this race is Liam Sharman for WMR. We've not mentioned Liam yet tonight, but lovely guy, always comes and gets involved and up for a chat. Also got a livery on there. In fact, I don't know if that's changed from what I've last seen. No, it is the same one from before. Why don't we go a little bit closer and take a look at that one, because I can see he's got a nice sponsor decal on the front there, or a series decal on the front. The race director to jump down a bit closer, you can see round the car. See what Sharman's up to. Press the link, we're now watching what you're doing. Yeah, he likes a bit of Alienware and Sneak branding on his liveries when he makes them. I like how he's got the outlines on the headlights and things like that on his car, actually, which is good. Okay, right. Are we missing anything at the other end of this that we need to make sure we're aware of? So, Chrissy Palmer, with just under 3 minutes on the clock, is currently leading the race by 17 seconds and counting. Next back is Bjorkman, who has actually been reeled in by a couple seconds from Harry Melvin. So Harry Melvin's not out of the count for a P2 yet. So the car on your screen at the moment with the sort of orange, gold and purple elements, that's Harry. As I say, he's just joined for the first time tonight as an InGear Motorsport driver, but did do a few rounds of our Porsche Cup a little while ago and done pretty well in that as well, while he's been really busy with some other commitments as well in, I think it's iRacing, but he may well correct me later, with other teams that he races with. So, what's your thoughts then? Can he bring down that gap to Bjorkman?
Yeah, I was just looking at the time on the clock and then what's left. So we've got a couple of minutes left, and what is he? Just over.
So a 2:02.8 was his last lap, which was also his best lap of the whole race.
That's
so
interesting.
Melvin's lapping pretty fast right now. Yeah, he's a second faster than Bjorkman. Bjorkman was a 2:03.9, Harry a 2:02.8. As he goes across the track limits there.
It's going to be close, isn't it? That's for sure.
And Chrissy's only 2:02.6. So Harry's within a couple of tenths of Chrissy's times now. So I think just that extra run in the race, he's obviously found a bit of time there. That's doable, isn't it? If he's doing a second a lap, we've probably got a lap or two left and 1.9 seconds to pull in. So could well be, yeah. So Chrissy just started the final lap.
Yeah.
Bit of a tall order then. Depending on how the timing works, you may have got 2 more laps there, just where there was a minute and a bit left on the clock. And it may have let them do another lap, but it's a long old lap here at Paul Ricard.
I think as well, at this point in the race, are you better off to just finish where you're finishing rather than risk taking a move and it not coming off when you've literally got a lap left to go? So I think a little bit of that will be coming into his head.
Yeah, I'm just hearing in my ear about the replay as well. So I think what we'll do is we'll wait until the race is finished and then we can have a look back at that and sort of take the time that we want to all have a good look at it. So we shall open that up in a minute. Well, we'll see if the race director is able to get it to work, because for whatever reason replays don't always play ball. I see in other series they are able to do that, like in iRacing and stuff. If someone knows how to do that in ACC really easily, I'd love to know. Message us, I'll be very grateful. But we do manage to get it to work sometimes. It's just a bit of a tricky process, isn't it? So Heath still very much in striking distance of Melvin if he doesn't keep it nice and clean on his last lap. And then Bjorkman also has lost another half a second to both of them as they're reeling him in. So none of these guys can afford to make a mistake on this last lap. And of course, they're all fighting for a podium at this point. So looking nice and close, and Heath's looking rather dangerous there, isn't he?
Yep. Round, what is this round?
Ding ding.
Yeah, I don't know what round we're on here because they've been battling the whole way through, haven't they? But yeah, again, it's risky, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's looking.
We shall soon see.
He's certainly looking.
Well, there you go then. We'll just go. Chrissy Palmer's just crossed the line. We'll go pick that up in just a moment. So well done to Chrissy. Yeah, there he is. Look on your screens. But we'll just jump straight back to that battle because it is all getting quite dicey. I think there's just run out of corners there, but we shall see as Heath goes to the outside. It's a drag race across the finish line. Who's going to get it? I think Melvin's just going to hang on to that. Yeah. Oh. That was a close finish. What about that? A photo finish between Heath and Melvin across the line there. Nice driving by both of them the whole race. So let me look at that. That was 0.04 of a second between the two as they crossed the line just now. So not bad at all. Well, then that does mean as the drivers cross the line, we'll bring the standings up. You can see Danny Price coming in P8 at the moment. So Chrissy Palmer took the win and will then, with it, inherit some more success ballast for the next race. Bjorkman then will be in P2 with an additional 10 kilograms ballast for him, put him up to 30 kilograms. So that'll be fun for the guys. Melvin then P3, great debut race from him for the InGear Motorsport driver.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can imagine you're pretty happy as well with that.
Yes, nice. As I say, it's nice to get some good solid points for the InGear Motorsport team this time around.
I just saw that Danny typed to me. Thanks, Danny. Just saw it pop up on your screen.
Oh, I see.
He's looking down at like my iPad and my Mac and everything. Like
yeah, we have a
no, I just saw it in your chat.
Cool. Right. Well, Race Director will be grabbing a screenshot of that, I'm sure, and then we do publish the results for the races on our Discord and usually share it out on socials as well. So if you're enjoying this, please do hit us up on Instagram. We're also on TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter, and even LinkedIn as well. You can find us pretty much everywhere as a link. So yeah, people can get involved from all different places. So I think what we can do, although I will ask Race Director, who will tell me one way or another, is if we can play that replay or not. Can't seem to download it for some reason. I mean, I've managed to get it my end, so I guess Charlotte and I can have a quick watch and then let everyone know. Yeah, so it was Melvin trying to go past Heath. Definitely, I mean, I would say racing incident for sure, but Heath did close the door a little bit. But equally might have not known he's there, and at that point Melvin has no choice. Yeah, he's turned in thinking that he had more space than he did. So Melvin was on the inside going into the sort of fast right that tightens up at the beginning of the second sector, and basically the two didn't go into one, I think is all that happened in that one. But we'll see if we can get it working for you guys to watch it on the stream as well. But yeah, that'll definitely be racing.
If not, we'll stick it on our Instagram anyway.
Yeah, we'll go up on our socials. George in the background will be doing that. Feel free to comment and tell him how grateful you are for that. I think he's enjoying life right now with PCs and technical things.
All seems to be going on.
Yeah, it's never as easy as you think, just firing the game up to grab a replay or something like that. There's always different things to contest with. Right, well, what did you all think of that in chat? It's got a little bit quiet over on chat, so if you're there still, give us a hello, tell us what you thought. By the way, we also do a driver of the day vote in the second race, so you can vote for whoever you'd like to get a driver's championship point or an additional championship point. Oh yeah, I can see Danny Price's message as well now in the server. I'm just thinking, again, you guys won't hear Race Director in the background, but do we need to come out of this server as spectators? Okay, did George catch that as well? Cool. So what will happen now then, ladies and gents, is the server will basically reset. Everyone has a little break. They can go out and test for a minute. They start the next race in the early hours of the morning. It looked like it went to a dry condition in that practice session. So we shall see what happens for the next race. And Charlotte and I can just have a little bit of a chat over race 1 for a moment. See what we think. Let us know what you thought. I've just got the chat over up on the side. You'll see me looking to the side of the screen. Oh, Dom said happy birthday over on YouTube.
Oh, thanks.
Dom was doing some, yeah, Dom, you were doing some big skids we saw in that race. Porsche was going nice and sideways at times. I don't know if you saw, but we caught your spins on at the end of qualifying as well. It looked quite good on the camera. So well, we're back with the balloons for the birthday stream. Welcome everyone.
So extra, so extra.
This isn't even all of them. There's more downstairs.
I like balloons, Kelly.
We could have filled the entire screen with balloons and flowers today.
Yeah.
Done all right really on that front, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been really lucky. I've had a really good day. Topped off by InGear Motorsport dreams. So yeah. Do we know what the weather is going to be like for the second race then? What's the vibe with that? Have you got any intel into that?
Well, I know it's going to start earlier in the morning, so
Cool.
Track will be a little bit different in that sense. You can never guarantee weather in this game, or if you do, it's then not dynamic, so it doesn't just literally fixed, which is not really ideal because you want it to kind of simulate real life a little bit and the track to develop and stuff. So we have it set for rain to be fairly likely as light rain, but it is entirely possible that it's a dry race, but I would say chances are it's more likely to be a wet race. That's what's kind of good about this, is you don't know for sure, unless you want to just make it, like I say, 100% rain. As Danny P occasionally would do when we've been racing, he'll set a server for biblical levels of rain.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. It brings good racing.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what it has done, hasn't it? I think, slightly smaller grid. I think we had a massive grid last time, didn't we, 2 weeks ago, 30 cars or whatever. But actually, for me, this has provided more racing in it.
Yeah, it just shows, doesn't it? I think we could have watched Heath and Melvin for that and been happy, but there was also some good battles with Curran early on, Bjorkman early on, Dom Stallman at the start as well. Yeah. When he got through into P2 at early doors, he thought he even actually challenged
Pissy. Had a
Pissy.
really good start, didn't he? So.
Yeah, so the Porsche very quick off the line. Something to watch for in the next race. And if you are just joining or you've not seen these before, we're here every other Tuesday and we do 2 races most of the time. For this championship, we'll have a 90-minute enduro race for the final round, which will be in about a month's time. So we're back in 2 weeks for the next round at Hungaroring, and then we go to Catalonia for that 90-minute race. So 2 races each time. The driver's having a short break, and then we'll be jumping back into the server of the game. And in fact, we'll just bring timings up for you for a minute so you can see. But essentially, we're on a short break for the moment, pretty much running to time. Qualifying 2 will be starting in a few minutes. So tiny bit behind, but not too much. Just looking for the server in the game myself, because then Charlotte and I basically have a couple cameras, a couple screens, I should say, dotted around. We've got laptops, phones, iPads, so we can kind of monitor everything at once. So I think we're adding them as we go more and more.
I think it's getting more and more. I think it's working all right though, isn't it? We're getting there.
Yeah, definitely. So if you see us looking around to the side, like we can see the chat. Dom thought it was a drift challenge. I've just seen you respond. If it was a drift challenge, Dom, you would have nailed it. That was it was nice and sideways. It was good. What's quite interesting at Paul Ricard, I don't know if you saw the colourful bits on the outside of the track when we were watching just now, but they're actually designed to be like an abrasive surface to slow cars down. So rather than have gravel traps, they have this like abrasive special tarmac that's coloured.
Yeah, I think stuff like that as well just shows the development in motorsport over the years, and that comes down to safety, doesn't it? But I think just it's such a fast-paced sport that actually doesn't get the credit for it. A lot of the technology that's in our road cars today, especially when we start talking about hybrids and things like that, is actually taken directly from motorsport. But even to that level of detail, like you say, with the track, rather than having gravel, let's use a different, more abrasive surface. It works well.
Yeah, and stuff's always moving forward. I saw a really good breakdown of Grosjean's accident in F1 the other day, and how the halos kind of saved him and some of that stuff. George just asked me how many configurations of Paul Ricard there is. I said that in the track guide video that I filmed on the YouTube channel, and I can't remember now. I'm going to go with something like 35.
And I guess it's probably not to put you on the spot here, but for those of you that maybe don't know too much about Paul Ricard, can you just give a little bit of what it is as a track? I don't think it floats everyone's boat, does it?
No, I mean, I didn't even like it to start with. Again, I'm just multitasking on other screens if it looks like I'm doing it just to get everything ready for everyone in the next race. No, I didn't like it at first, but it's grown on me, and I love that, as I said in the races now, that long straight, 'cause it's a chance for people to kind of just hang on to someone that's maybe a bit faster than them, and it kind of drags them along. So you can in some races end up with massive trains. As it happened, we kind of had a lot of 2 versus 2 or 1-on-1 battles with a few of the guys. But yeah, it does lend itself to that. The hardest thing, and we said it earlier, is the track limits. You've got to be careful with that. I saw someone, it was one of the Pateks, I don't know which one, that got a drive-through right at the end, which was probably for track limits. So actually, the rest of the guys did quite well on that front.
I think so. Last time we was here, it was an absolute nightmare, let's be honest, and it was dry. So
yeah,
they've been doing a really good job.
Weirdly, you find, I don't know if you agree with this, but in the real world, that wet races, people are probably more cautious, and you actually sometimes see less incidents than a dry race.
Yeah, I think so, and I think, like I say, 30 minutes isn't a long race, in all honesty, is it? But when it's like that, it is a long race. So, you know, you can bin it off, you know, in a matter of seconds, and we could see that the guys were really fighting with their cars out there. I don't think for anyone that was a really comfortable race. Maybe bar Chrissy. Chrissy looked pretty settled and planted out there from the get-go, didn't he? Yeah, probably very, very happy that he's changed car. But like we say, that does have ballast implications that come onto it now. So he's going to get added ballast. Bjorkman will, and Melvin will now as well.
Yeah, the whole group of them.
Yeah.
Oh, I can just see that Georgia shared out that Paul Ricard track guide we were talking about as well. I don't know if the guys know what's going on with the server in the background, but I can't seem to find anything in the game at the moment. One of the wonders of Assetto Corsa Competizione is it's a fantastic game, but the menus in the server sometimes have issues. So, it's just come back up actually. I think the whole game might have just gone down for a moment there. The wonders of racing on the web. Was that the same for you, Ben, in the background? Oh, I can't find R1 actually. Right, we'll be with you in a minute, folks.
Sorry, there's me throwing my iPad around again.
Yeah, I'm back here as well, so.
Cool. What we could do is let's take a couple of minutes break. We'll be back. We're going to reset. We're going to let the guys have free practice, aren't we?
They should have just had it, hopefully.
Oh, okay. I'm going to jump straight into qualifying. So we'll have a couple-minute break and then we'll get going. And hopefully qualifying will be up and running and you guys have sorted all your technical dramas out while I sit here.
Yeah, we'll be back with you in a few minutes, guys. Hello everybody, we're back, we're running, the server's up. Most of the guys have rejoined, which is good. So we've got the key guys ready for some more racing coming up very, very shortly. And you can see qualifying's just started. So it's the early hours of the morning. It looks like it's still drizzling a little bit as well. So definitely going to be challenging for the guys. The race will start at a similar sort of time and then we'll go into sunrise, which I always think is quite a nice time of day to look at anyway. When you're in the car, it's horrendous.
I was going to say the glaring is not always the one, is it?
Yeah, I see a couple of people mentioned potentially having an issue on the YouTube stream. Seems okay for me, mine, but if anyone is having problems, just so you know, we are on Twitch and Facebook as well, so you can just find, literally just search InGear Motorsport, same as you would on YouTube if that was an issue for you, and then you should be able to find us over on there too. But yeah, thanks for the comments from a few people. If anyone else is there watching the background, say hello, let us know you're there. Let us know if you're on YouTube, Twitch or Facebook, of course, we can see where it comes from. And what your thoughts are for race 2. Now, if you didn't catch that before, we do a driver of the day vote halfway through race 2. So basically, anyone watching in chat can say,
sorry,
caught me there. Charlotte threw me off. Yeah, so you can basically comment your favourite driver, and they'll get an extra championship point. Whoever gets the most votes, there does have to be a clear winner though. So go rally the troops if you're watching someone and trying to support them. I just realised we haven't got the Australia racing team either in here tonight of Billingham and Sheldon. So there's another couple that will be applying their dropped score for this round. I think it's like you say, Paul Ricard is a bit of a Marmite track, Charlotte. So I think a few of the guys perhaps didn't fancy it tonight, particularly the rain as well. You do get pubbers jump in here and love it and are stupidly fast sometimes. But I guess, again, where it's raining and interesting times of day, I love it because it shakes the racing up a little bit. But the sort of mainstream people playing these games tend to like to join perfect fair weather conditions. But if you like a league that does the odd wet race once in a while, come and join us, because we do like to throw in a wet track every so often.
Yeah, I think it's important too as well, because if you're going to do this in the real world, which we know there's a lot of time and effort that goes into both sides of this, then if you can do it in perfect conditions, you need to be able to do it in non-perfect as well. So I think if you want to become the best all-round driver, unfortunately, it's not always perfect, is it? It's just one of them.
Yeah, that's it. And also not being a one-track specialist and trying out different tracks as you go along. Well, it would look like everyone is going to score points this time around, because there is 10 drivers for this qualifying session so far. Now the ballast for the guys has been applied, so well, it will be for the race. So Bjorkman will have an additional. I think we finished now. What was it? He was second in the end, or third. He was third, wasn't he? Because it was.
Who, Harry?
No, Bjorkman was third, wasn't it? Yeah, second, and then Harry was third. Yeah. So yeah, if Harry was third, and Bjorkman second, that's an additional 10. So Bjorkman will go up to 30 kilograms. I'm just doing the maths my end so I can let you all know. Quick maths, terrible at mental arithmetic, but that was quite straightforward. Once I remembered where he finished. And then Chrissy won, so he gets an additional 15, which will put him up to 25 kilograms of ballast.
Yeah, I think this is the watch out for Kirk race. Mr. Heath, I think that's what this is going to be. We know that he's got the pace in P1, but he's the one out of all of them that doesn't have any ballast on at all. So
yeah, that's a good point. Definitely going to make for an interesting race, that. Trying to move some screens around. All the technology in commentary box, and we're finally sorted again. Right, let's get on board with someone, shall we? Excuse me, everyone. Yeah, let's get on board with someone who's out on track. So Dom Stallman's out at the moment. We could jump on board with him. Race director just informed me he'll do that for you momentarily. He politely asked us just give him a minute. But there he is. And if you're just joining, welcome to the InGear Motorsport live stream. officially, unofficially sponsored by Monster Energy. Still touting for that sponsorship out there, everyone. So if you want to come and join us, Monster Energy, and get some exposure on our league, please do get in touch. Although, just be careful with race director Ben, because he may well do you out of business with the amount of cans that he drinks. So you might have a little bit of an unhealthy habit there, but yeah, he just said in my ear, I know, I need to sort it out. You can't hear it, but I can. Right, so here was the big skid Dom Stallman in race 1 and qualifying 1, currently looking a bit more in a straight and narrow, and interestingly, he's just slowed down a bit, hasn't he? So I think he's either trying to get some track space, or he's just about to pull over to a stop, or he might have even just run out of fuel, you know.
Oh.
I think he might have just run out of fuel.
Is he following in your footsteps, Mackenzie, on a race that you was in the other night?
Don't know what you're talking about.
Last lap, fuel.
Can't believe I ran out of fuel on the last lap.
Rookie error. Wasn't you? Where was you? You were P1, wasn't you?
I was in the lead.
What an idiot.
That was one of our fun races that we did. So luckily, no points at stake in that one. Just pride.
For that. Talking about the fun races then, while we're coming to the middle stage of qualifying, we're running these fun races pretty much every week now, aren't we?
Well, every week that we're not live streaming, so every other week, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're maybe slightly newer to this, or not sure if you want to sort of join the championship fully, then come in. You know, like we say, get on the Discord, come in and join in one of these fun races. The guys are all there to help, setups, etc., etc. Yeah, get in and have some fun.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, and there's less pressure than if people are sort of getting new to racing in these sort of games, or certainly racing with us, and you want to kind of get a feel for it. It's a good place to do it, because as much as we still want to keep it fair and avoid incidents, if there is an incident in a fun race, it's far less of an issue, and a chance for everyone to learn. So we don't mind so much newer drivers sort of getting to grips with things there. And then even still, we have drivers join into the main races in our live streams like this, who just gradually chip away at it over time and get faster and faster. I think one notable one in recent months has definitely been Heath. Heath's definitely found a bit more time somewhere, hasn't he? And he's just, you know, he's now challenging the likes of Dom Stallman and Chrissy and so on all the time. So yeah, definitely found some good time. Liking that Aston Martin tonight, it would seem. Just saw him going through on your screen at the moment as he goes up the long straight of the Mistral straight, the mile-long straight of this 3.5-mile-long Paul Ricard circuit. Now, George asked me earlier on about the configurations of the track. I mean, he's just like, I don't know. That is true. That's a good point. You guys didn't hear that on stream, but he said
I was going to say, it's muted on the stream or not.
Or artificially watered. So even if it wasn't raining, they could turn the sprinklers on.
Well, look at that. Yeah. Look at that.
Every day's a school day, people.
Yeah, I think with Paul Ricard, a lot of the mentality behind the build of it was very good for testing cars. It's a big testing shakedown circuit, isn't it? So that's why it is kind of advanced in those ways, maybe more so. And I think aesthetically, it's probably one of the prettiest tracks there is as well.
Yeah, it's nice. I'm pretty sure there's like amusement parks or something right next to it, or or something as well. There's a driving experience type centre as well. Got George telling me in my ear at the same time. This is good. You can feed me loads of fun facts to share out, like I actually know them all, like they do in other commentary boxes.
Fun fact: don't run out of fuel when you're winning on the last lap.
All right. Fun fact: if you don't know what to get Ben Meikle as a present, buy him a can of Monster. Because Monster Energy sponsor this live stream. No, they don't. We're no way affiliated with Monster Energy yet. Please don't sue us.
You're just like trying to do law of attraction, where if you keep saying it enough,
that's it. Yeah.
Then it will happen. Yeah.
Got them all chatting in my ear now. Right, qualifying's coming to an end, so let's just bring the leaderboard up and have a look through, shall we? So you can see who's here, who's present. So we've got Chris Chrissy Palmer still on provisional pole, so he's popped a lap in a 2:04, and then 4 tenths off that is Harry Melvin. Good job for the InGear boys there again. Yorkman currently in P3, will still be championship leader technically at the moment, not taking into account drop scores or anything like that yet. But Chrissy obviously won that last race, so with drop scores would be essentially championship leader, I guess, if you look at it that way. So drop scores was definitely going to be helpful in that front. Dominic Stallman in P4, Heath in 5th. I just saw Dom Stallman do something rather aggressive on another screen just now, but anyway. Ronan Stallman 6th, Curran 7th for Spearhead Race Engineering, Danny Price in 8th for Sheba Garage. Renberg, who joined us fairly recently, a couple of races ago, is in 9th and is also part of the Spearhead Race Engineering team. Sharman for West Midlands Racing in P10, and we've had a lonely pupper join in 11th at the moment, which is a tiff. But we will see what happens at the end of qualifying shortly. Let's see who's out on a lap that we can get on board with, because we kind of didn't really get very far last time, with Dom Stallman just doing a slow end of a lap before he then went again. I watched him earlier, he was actually backing off to then have another run at it for a full lap, so I must have been cooling his tyres down or something.
Yeah.
So here we are. I'm going to say Chrissy Palmer, if that's okay, because he is on a lap. If we could get the camera switched to that, please. Thank you very much, Mr. Race Director. Good man.
Speedy.
That was very speedy.
Come on, Ben.
He is wise.
He's on it, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's had a beer tonight. Have you just had the one beer, Ben, or just the one?
Birthday beer, special occasion. This is my party.
Yeah, this is it. Comment in chat if Ben should do a shot.
No.
everyone just bombard him. Find him on Instagram, Ben Meikle. Tell him to do shots. Tell him in chat to do shots. Wow, Chrissy really wrestling that wheel through there. Currently is just under a 10th quicker, just about to go 2 tenths quicker, and back under again. I'm looking in the top left corner where it's green, basically that's his delta, showing whether he's faster or slower than his best lap currently. He won't get many more chances. I think this may well be the last lap unless he just crosses the line in time. No, he's not going to do that in 3
last
seconds.
Lap, isn't it? Yeah.
So this is his last chance.
He looks pretty comfy though, doesn't he? I know it's out. Well, it's not out of shape, is it? He looks like he's fighting the car a little bit, but that's how Chrissy is. Chrissy's comfortable when it's like that, isn't he?
Loose is fast, as they say.
Exactly that. Exactly that.
On the edge of control.
But he is one of those drivers, isn't he, where he can be right on the raggedy edge, but for him, that works. And he's got a very good understanding of setting up cars. And I think that's one thing that probably we don't give Chrissy enough credit for, is that he's pretty on it when it comes to setups and things like that, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Right, let's go to our quick Discord ad just for a minute where everything sets itself up for the race, and we'll be back with you in a moment. Hello everyone and welcome back to the birthday live stream for Charlotte's birthday, hence why we're surrounded by balloons. Drivers are on the grid ready for race 2 of our GT3 Euro Series tonight at Paul Ricard. So this is technically the 4th round in the championship, so they are all racing for points. Don't forget, halfway through this race you can also come and vote for driver of the day. So on the grid then, Chrissy Palmer took pole position once again, and alongside him is the other InGear Motorsport driver.
It's an orange lockout.
It's an orange front row, we like to see it. Heath is in P3, very fast in race 1, so we'll see if he can translate that into a podium or go one better into the win, or a couple better into the win. And then you got Bjorkman, Stallman, both the Stallmans together, Dominic and Roland, good to see. Danny Price in 7th, Curran in 8th, Renberg in 9th, Sharman in 10th, and Petit in 11th. So we had a similar sort of size grid for the first race, a lot smaller than the first couple of rounds at Spa, and yet, as we were saying, the racing was
I've actually really enjoyed it. Slightly less carnage to keep an eye on as well.
Yeah, I guess we can track it a bit better, because that was pretty intense at times, some of the other races trying to track it all. Right, well, I can see then the guys have started their formation period just for a couple of corners time. So the orange car with the red elements in gold is Chrissy, and then the orange car with the purple elements is Melvin. So two teammates. First race for Melvin tonight under the InGear Motorsport banner, but he has done plenty of other sim racing and other leagues. Lights will go out any minute and then they'll be off. I saw Danny Price in that colourful M6 right up the chuff of the car in front of him. The lights are out for round 4 then. Away we go. The drivers hurtle down into turn 1. Looking nice and clean so far. Heath looks like he's got a good run on Bjorkman there. But Bjorkman will be able to cut back. Chrissy's got a good start to his lead. Oh, he's going for a move potentially. Looks like he's going to bunch up at the back, but all drivers giving each other space out of that top 4 so far. Looks like Stallman's trying to go around the outside of Bjorkman. That's the white Porsche on the black Lexus. And Heath also looking like he might be able to get a run at Melvin, forcing Melvin to go defensive. Heath going to go around the outside if he can, but instead has to lose a place instead of gain a place, and is now trying to defend against the Porsche. So orange cars get themselves off into 1 and 2 at the moment, and we'll be heading on to the long Mistral Straight very shortly for the first time. You can see those coloured blue sections that we're talking about just now, that kind of abrasive surface that slows the car down. If you're wondering what the hell we're on about, that's what we're talking about. This helicopter cam shows it off quite nicely. Looks like then the white Porsche of Stallman has got a rather keen to get past Heath pulling out alongside him. Doesn't get any slipstream advantage when he pulls out. And look at that Lexus behind of Bjorkman, how much quicker it is. He's going to go past both of them in a minute. It's like he's got an LMP car.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a great way just to see how fast that Lexus was.
Serious whack to it.
And somehow just about gets it stopped for the corner. That was incredible. Oh, that was very close from Heath there. I think he just snagged the brake on a curb or something on braking. Rejoins just in front of Roland Stallman. Gives just about enough space. You've got that battle there with the BMW of Danny Price just getting in the mix. Curran's there as well, and Heath now at the front of that little pack. And in fact, it looks like Curran's going up the inside of Price, was that? Yeah. So Curran getting up the inside of Price and back of Shot there, and Heath the car at the front of that little pack at the moment. Let's just jump down and look at this from Danny Price's view for a minute. Actually, I think that'll be quite a nice one to see, because you can look forward at what's going on, even if we jump onto the bonnet or something like that. We don't do bonnet cam very often. Let's mix it up a bit.
I think it's a good shot as well.
I mean, you can see the multicoloured livery at the same time then. Still not heard what anyone's favourite livery is. Let us know in the chat. Type in the chat box which livery you like the most, which car you like the look of the most. Love to know what people think. Guys put quite a lot of time into these. I don't think Danny's actually made this one, but he's made some really nice ones in the past. I think the Ferrari is one of my favourites they did.
I'm not going to lie, this is my favourite.
It's one they didn't actually do.
Yeah, it's one.
The game developers did this one.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
So you can see it's bunched up a little bit up ahead. You can hear George commenting there. What was that? York, we just lost the place as well. Okay, so that'll be a few cars further up ahead. So maybe we should jump a couple of cars up then. So, as I see, Petit is in the pit lane. See if he gets going again in a minute. And yeah, look at this. Heath and Bjork have a great battle. Good spot there, George. So the white Porsche at the front is Dominic Stallman as they come into the fast right hand, and then Bjorkman goes to the inside line in the black Lexus. Heath just behind him in the blue and black Aston Martin. So the Lexus just has the legs on that straight every single lap to get past, and then they spend the rest of the lap trying to get back past him. I mean, Bjorkman must be running no wing on that car. I just saw Heath get very, very close on another shot there.
Very, very close. Stallman just seems to be, or both the Stallmans just seem to be struggling a little bit in the Porsche.
tonight, don't they? They don't just seem to have that kind of edge on which they so normally would. It's almost like comes across robotic because it's so pinpoint perfect in everything that they do, doesn't it? So they are human, which is
yes, good to see, isn't it?
But yeah, just struggling a little bit for pace. I mean, not slow, are they? Let's be real, but it's just not their normal sort of edge that they would have on maybe some of the other guys in the grid.
Yep, so Chrissy Palmer and Melvin off to a good start, running fairly closely together up ahead, but this pack for the fight for third is where it's at the moment. Bjorkman in the black and gold Lexus is leading it. Heath's just behind him. And when we get to the straight, the Lexus actually does have, as we've seen, so much power in a straight line that he's probably going to fill a bit of a gap.
Every time, isn't it?
It is waft to clock.
Technical term there for you people. Add it to your notebooks.
That Lexus reminds me of Ben Meikle when he's been juiced up on a few monsters. Monster Energy, the official, not official sponsor of this live stream.
We literally abuse Ben. And
he does get abused. And he's the guy doing the most work in the background for sure. All the time, just clicking through tens of millions of screens.
Absolute rubbish.
It's great where we just turn up and chat. But to be fair, George has had his fair share tonight with replay issues and it's stuff not working as well.
This is a nice train that we've got going on here, and again, the guys are playing pretty sensibly, aren't they? Thanks for that.
We need a jingle. We need a soundbite. Oh, look at that! You see the Porsche of Stallman getting a bit wild out on the outside there. The painted surfaces in the rain are incredibly slippery. So if you run a bit wide and you're trying to get the power down, it can be quite scary. In fact, we saw it catch a couple of people out in the first race. I think Dom had a couple big slides, didn't he? I just had a comment on YouTube from a Ben Meikle. Don't know who that is, but yeah, El Sharman's livery is the one that he would pick. What's his profile picture? Oh, his profile picture is a monster logo. It must be Ben Meikle. It must be the same race director. All right, I'll leave you alone. I'll leave you alone for a minute, Ben.
Back to the racing, Mackenzie. Focus.
George on YouTube likes Bjorkmans.
Bjorkman's actually holding the whole of this pack up, isn't he?
Yeah.
You can see that train getting longer and longer in the background. So, which again, we spoke about this, which we didn't see too much in the first race, but we said how this circuit kind of attracts that kind of train behaviour, doesn't it? With it. So, yeah, he's...
Oh, sorry. Choo-choo.
Choo-choo. This is like watching cadet racing, isn't it?
It's brilliant,
cadet
isn't it?
carts, yeah.
It is brilliant. I do love it when you get cars together like this. It sounds really weird, but I almost use the analogy that it's at this point, particularly if you're Heath or one of the Stallmans, it's a bit like playing chess. It's like, when do you make your move? What corner do you sacrifice to try and get past? You know, so there's all of that going on. It's not just about the sort of the fast ferociousness of racing and trying to get the car around the track. It's also, how can I logically think about this to time my move?
Yeah, and it's looking to see where are they making mistakes, where, you know, the person in front of you, where are they making mistakes, where am I slightly stronger, okay, where can I utilise that?
I think that was Dom losing the rear end again.
It was Roland Stallman.
Roland, sorry, okay. As Heath then makes the move on Bjorkman as well. A couple bit further up on your screen, so that was Dom rejoining this. I just remembered we had actually some racing like this last time. We've done a 90-minute here. I think it was Kidd and someone that was like, yeah, side by side, and Dan O'Brien, right at the end. Yeah.
That's very, very close racing between them.
They done well not to touch there, because I thought that was, I thought Bjorkman was sailing into the side of Heath at one point for the camera angle we were looking at.
Yeah, I don't know, George, in the background, if you can have a little look to see what caused. I think it was Dom Stallman. Well, it is Dom Stallman to have that spin.
I was Dom.
Was it self-inflicted, or did he get caught up just to see what happened there? Because again, so rare to see Dom make a mistake, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, he's really struggled with that Porsche tonight.
Yeah.
The Porsche is quite a snappy car, and once it's gone, it's gone. You know, just the very nature of the setup of the car, it is hard to control at times. So I think maybe, you know, hasn't had enough time to put a setup together or something like that, and in these conditions it's pretty tricky, or might have only tested in the dry. That's always the thing. I know a couple of guys, Harry and Chrissy, did test last night when the server was up with the rain, so that will definitely be playing into their hands at the minute, as they are first and second, 1 second between them. So again, top effort by Chrissy Palmer and Harry Melvin out front. Well done, boys. We'll cut to that in a minute when we can actually take our eyes off this action between Bjorkman, Stallman and Heath.
Yeah, because Roland's there going for the move.
That Stallman had a spin. Was that the one we saw before, or another one again?
Okay.
It was a spin. Okay, cool. So we know that now, everyone. It was just lost the rear end of the car. There was no contact or anything like that to worry about.
Yeah, so just to kind of bring it back to what you guys are looking at on the screen here, that you can see that Roland put that move on Heath, made it stick, but it's very, very close now. It actually there was a little bit of contact there. That was.
Again, it's the outside of the track. They're running out of space, and there's just a little nudge, bumping door mirrors every now and then. Happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that one's up for interpretation.
Okay.
If I'm being completely honest there, I think...
That's one for socials, isn't it? We can put it to the people.
Mr. Heathy made that Aston Martin very, very wide there.
Someone were looking to clip that for a social media clip. It was at the end of lap 4 between.
So George is going to be frantically in the background, but yeah, it'd be good to kind of just have a look at that, just to see that, and maybe head on to Instagram and have a vote and say who do you think it was. Was it a racing incident, or was it one or the other?
Just heard a big sigh from George in the background. It's all going to be over soon, guys. Who's over on chat? Let's see. Anyone else message? Come on. Right, driver of the day votes. We'll start taking them now. If anyone wants to vote for a driver of your choosing, Chrissy Palmer would be my vote if I could vote, because he's led the first race and won it, and led the second race so far, so he's done really well. As much as Melvin also deserves credit. I'm going to be biased, but
yeah, I think Harry did a really good job there in the first race as well. But yeah, I think.
So while Heath is chasing down Bjorkman, why don't we just jump to that front pair? Because Harry's actually brought the gap back down to a second. So if we jump on board for Harry for a second, as the car gets a bit sideways by the looks of it. Should we go bonnet cam again? Because I quite enjoyed that the last time. Race director said he agrees. He thinks it's a good game.
We're very sarcastic. Like, I feel like my sarcasm gets more and more over the years that we do this.
If someone's like from, I think Americans don't particularly get British sarcasm, for example, as well, do they? Sometimes, like they must be completely baffled if we've ever had one. Well, we had a guy who was over in New York joined once, didn't we?
Yeah.
Who was chatting to us. Must completely blow their minds what we're on about.
Sorry, it blows our minds half the time.
Yeah, I sometimes watch it back and think, what was I talking about?
Yeah, so Harry's currently 6/10 off of Chrissy now. So, I mean, he's been pretty fast, hasn't he? You know, he bangs in the laps, and it seems like it gets to the latter start of the race that he really comes alive. But remember, I think it was the second to last lap in race 1 that Harry actually set his fastest lap time. So he's obviously got his tyre pressure set exactly where he needs them to be.
What I will say in Chrissy's defence in this scenario now is he's got 25 kilograms of ballast on that car in front of us.
How much, sorry?
25 kilograms.
Yeah, it's a lot of weight, isn't it? I mean, okay then, context then, Bjorkman and the amount of waff that Lexus has got, Bjorkman has got even more ballast. So
I think he's got an LMP car.
Yeah, I don't know what's there. Yeah.
Definitely something going on there.
It's like he's got a Junior Max engine in a mini Max race. So to use as a karting reference there.
I'm just looking at the difference. I don't know if everyone saw that on the stream, but the car we're riding on board with Melvin just closed in probably about half a car length on Chrissy, where he got the slipstream up the straight. So basically, and in fact, Chrissy goes a bit wide there and lets Melvin get a bit closer. But yeah, what we're talking about basically, if you imagine the resistance on the car as it's going up the straight from the air, It's a bit like when you put your hand out the window on the motorway, you can feel the air pushing it back. And when you're in the car behind, you've got less air pushing you back, and therefore the car will go that little bit faster. So that's why you end up with these trains sometimes of 4 or 5 cars closely together, which it looks like we've got Bjorkman also, and with Heath now on the back of him. So I'll keep an eye on that gap-wise, but we'll just see if Melvin's going to make a move anytime soon. And then a bit further back, Curran and Price. Danny Price has just got past Curran into P6 as well, so that's a nice little battle happening. Yeah, I think Harry's probably not going to make a move anytime soon. So let's jump back to the Curran versus Price, because that's the closest gap at the moment.
Yeah, nice to see those guys together there. Actually, Curran hasn't quite had the pace again today that he's had in other races. He's been pretty fast, hasn't he? He's actually been getting faster and faster.
Is it me, or is that Lexus just shaking violently where it's going so fast in a straight line?
He's got damage. He's had.
I'm just laughing at Ben in the background. He's like, it's doing my head in.
Change that camera view.
Oh dear. Okay, right. Well, we'll go to another camera view on the background as well then. Halfway through. How's that happened already?
Blink and you'll miss it. So we've got a nice little trio there then. So Danny Price, Curran and Dom making his way back up as well. So again, he was running, I think, sort of P4, P5, had that little self-inflicted spin. So he'll be looking to claw back a couple more points with it as well. Sharman is in the points currently as well, which is always a good thing. Doesn't matter how many people in the race, the points are the points and the way it works.
Yeah, definitely. So that's good points for the WMR then, which is Heath and Sharman. So they are Heath in 4th and Sharman, like saying 10th. So points go down to 10th normally, but where we've got less drivers in today, it means everyone's got points. So well done for turning up, boys.
Yeah, beautiful. It's nice actually because it's like the regulars as well, isn't it? That have got. I think it's maybe been a good test for us to see because we've been having discussions about do we lock the server, don't we? Do we? Don't we? I actually think
we do get the odd pub that discover the server, I guess, when it's open.
Yeah.
People, so there's that issue, but that's what I guess the fun races can be for.
Yeah, no, definitely, and I think it's one of those things as well. We're always looking to kind of improve it or change it or switch things up. So it's very much you put the ideas out there and then the guys are voting for it, aren't they? So like we say, if it's something that's maybe new and you're watching, you're thinking, oh, I want to get involved, or I'm not too sure if I want to get involved, then jump onto our Discord anyway, say InGear Motorsport, and just kind of see what it's about.
Just looking here then back to the racing, Dom Stallman's having a bit of a recovery here, go back through on Curran. So Vegas Informance driver overtaking the Spearhead Race Engineering driver and getting himself up and getting that move done quite nicely, actually.
I actually thought that was going to be a 2-in-1 then.
I think Curran gave him plenty of room in the end, which otherwise it might have been a bit close. So Dom's looking pretty racy there, isn't he? Definitely trying to recover some points.
Yeah.
So currently now up into 7th, challenging Danny Price for 6th place then in the multicoloured BMW that you can see there.
It's all very close, isn't it?
Yeah, so you can see that's going to bring Curran back into contention as well. He might be able to get past Danny at the same time. In fact, as Danny has to go wide, I think we're going to end up free pressed here in a minute if we're not careful. Look at that. I mean, that Lexus we know has got some serious straight line speed, but Curran actually looks a bit slow. Maybe he's got some additional downforce on or something.
Yeah,
and just didn't get as fast.
We've now actually got a 4-car race, and Rainbow is just freaking out.
Wow.
Where he just come from, he just shut his phone so
And another LMP1 car has just joined the server, everyone. George in the background said it's like Fast and Furious when they just find another gear in the race somehow. I don't know why they do it. My favourite is in the Alfa Romeo on the long runway scene when he just punches the automatic gear stick.
Yeah, again, sorry to butt in with Mackenzie, but not only has he just done that, he's now driving away from them.
Yeah, Rembo's on fire.
So
is he okay?
Well, who knows? But yeah. So Danny Price was actually the biggest. I don't like using the word loser. What's another word for loser? The biggest patient. Is that
the victim?
Yeah. Okay. Well, whatever.
I mean, he's still in the
yeah, no, he's still well in contention there. But yeah, with that,
with that battle, his work's come off worse for it, so he'll be looking to make a bit of pace back, and it's nice for him. He's had a bit of a lonely race in the first race, didn't he? He was typing messages to me in the Discord chat,
Yeah.
so he's probably quite happy with this at the moment.
I've just seen we've had a change of lead as well. Melvin's actually taken the lead from Chrissy there. They were running quite close, so we'll check that out in a minute, because Chrissy may well try and come back. There's only 4 attempts in it, but this is definitely where the action's at the moment. I mean, Renberg has just, it's kind of like he's just as Vacancy performance car just finds a completely new bit of track to drive on.
Amazingly, he hasn't lost out too much there.
Yeah, I think I think he basically chose, rather than have an accident trying to hang on to it, you just open the steering lock, let the car run wide, and just give up the corner. And luckily, with all this big open space, you have the ability to do that. We've been doing some fun races on the British tracks lately, because where the new DRCs come out, and you definitely can't do that on the British tracks because there's not a lot of runoff, is there? So yeah, as we were saying, we'll jump on the lead change in a minute. I'm guessing we still can't do replays either, guys, can we, at the moment, for whatever reason? Can we ever sort that out? Might be able to. He says wonderful words of encouragement there. A replay.
So in our ears then, and he just went, "What do you want? A replay is what we would like."
No, it's fine. I know you're having all sorts of issues, Mr. Race Director. It's all right.
It can be my birthday present if you want, Ben. I don't ask for much, you know, just a replay in the stream where we play replays. It would be nice, but anyway.
Okay, so that's just started to settle a little bit. Should we just jump up and take a look at the leaders, since they have had that switch of positions? Heath's in no man's land in P3 at the moment, kind of on his own. He has got cars a couple of seconds behind him.
Can we go? Yeah, I was just going to say, can we just change it to a
tighter camera angle?
Yeah, tighter camera angle, because it's a little bit wide there and we're missing them coming through the shots. But that got very, very close between the two there. Now, I'd like to think, hopefully, that they're talking to one another in the Discord chat to make sure that they don't bin each other off. This is the moment where you see a bit of the foot tapping going on by a team principal in the pit lane when you've got your team out in P1 and P2. This is where you kind of need to go team orders or just bring it home, boys, kind of thing. Don't bin it off in the closing stages.
I know, that'd be terrible.
Yeah, so we've got 8 minutes to go, so they're not stupid though. Well, we say that, but they're not.
Oh, right, so if you're wondering who's who, the one with the purple wheels is Melvin, just joined the team this race. And then the car with the red wheels is Chrissy Palmer. Of course, they're both orange because it's an InGear Motorsport car. But like Charlotte says, we want to take the nice big points haul from first and second. So hopefully they can, above all else, finish the race. We won't say that any more times. I'm touching the wooden table already, so that's good. But yeah, I mean, what a good race by these guys. They've got themselves out front and just continued to put the laps in, and now they're in this lovely position where they can have a bit of a fight and not worry about necessarily giving up a space too easily, provided keep it sensible. So we've got this wonderful bonnet cam again of Chrissy Palmer, as he's going to get a bit of a run potentially on Melvin here. The car we're on board with, Chrissy Palmer, currently off the back of winning the last race, has got some success ballast on. He's got 25 kilograms of extra weight in his car. So that'll just make it a bit harder to stop, a little bit harder to accelerate. The car will be that little bit slower, and of course, cornering, it will just be that little bit trickier just with that bit of extra weight in the car. So he's fighting that in this one, and Melvin was P4 last time, so P3, so he's only got a little bit. But so far so good as they begin their run down the long mile long Mistral straight. And this time Chrissy's the one with the slipstream. What's good is they're both able to keep it quite consistent so far as well, so they're not, oh, look at that, we're looking like we're going to go for a move. He's thinking about it. Okay, neck and neck, Chrissy Palmer on the inside. Can he hang on to that? Looks like he's going to make it stick. But Melvin may well get a cutback here. No. Yeah, nice move there. And again, that was definitely a teammate passing a teammate, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
it's what you'd expect.
Yeah. Oh, I have good news, everyone. A replay should work. Although I don't know what replay it is that we've got ready. If someone could let me know. Oh, it's cool. So Melvin getting into the lead earlier on. Have we got time to play that? I think they're going to be apart for a minute, aren't they?
You say that?
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, let's
let's give them a minute.
I was going to say let's.
We've only got 5 minutes left.
No, it's gone fast.
Yeah. Do you know what? The more we do races at this track, the more I love it, because it does just bring up some great moments, doesn't it? I mean, Renberg and Bjorkman in those Lexuses, what the hell? I mean, that's a combination of slipstream and a fast car in a straight line.
With 30 kilos of ballast on for one of them as well.
Yeah.
Bjorkman, so,
I know.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to be hit by that thing with an extra 30 kilos on it. Oh! Chrissy Palmer loses the rear end of the car. Now, he should be able to get going again if he can. He had 18 seconds in hand. In fact, he had 20 seconds in hand.
He very, very nearly took out Melvin at the same time. Yeah. So he'll be kicking himself over that because he has literally not put a foot wrong, really, has he?
No.
Throughout the whole of this evening. So maybe it was one of his puppies that distracted him.
Yeah, not one but 2 puppies now.
Feel free, if you ever need a puppy sitter, I am here.
Right, well, while they're recovering from what's happened, they're definitely not going to overtake anytime soon. I've just noticed in the background there's some stuff going on though. Yeah, the train's back on, everyone. So get your choo-choos ready because Danny Price is at the front of it now, I think.
Should we start calling you Thomas?
Thomas the Tank.
Yeah.
Can do. I've been called worse things in my life.
I don't doubt that for a second.
So Dominic Stallman's got himself a little bit of a gap to the BMW of Danny Price at the moment.
Let's just go on a bit of a tighter angle again there, Ben. Sorry, it just gets a bit.
So if we look at Renberg, who did actually blast past them all earlier on. I say look at Renberg, the camera angle we're on is kind of focusing on Renberg, is what I mean, everyone.
Good drive by Danny Price there. As well, they've managed to pull away from Curran quite a bit, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's good pace out there between them all. They're lapping well in the rain. And we've actually seen fairly minimal mistakes given everything that's going on. I don't know if Renberg just had like some lag or something, but it seems all right again now. No, his ping looks okay. You can actually see in the game, just next to their name is a little bar, and that's their ping. So again, it's something else that we monitor, because if someone's got a really high ping, they can get involved in crashes without even meaning to, so you tend not to want that. Some servers just kick people out if their ping gets too high straight away. So, as we enter the closing laps of this race, Melvin is in the lead. Chrissy Palmer is in second. After that spin has cost him the lead. He's 5 seconds back. So he'd have to do some serious lap times now. We're now looking at the battle for 4th place because Heath's in 3rd comfortably. So Heath's kind of had a race of his own so far, this one. But we're looking at Bjorkman. I think we just lost Dom. He's not showing up on my leaderboard. He is there on the screen. Oh, he's just literally lost the end as I said it.
Curse hits again.
There are big skids again for the Porsche.
This is so unlike Dom. Like, maybe one mistake in a race.
Yeah.
Like,
even in the rain, he's still normally fine, isn't
yeah.
it? I remember the Suzuka before.
Yeah.
He was lovely.
Absolutely lit. Yeah. Really, really struggling there. You know, it's that tyre pressures that are off. Just struggled to get it set up again.
The other side of things, Roland's done very well, and I remember
really
Roland didn't like the rain quite so much initially, and he's currently running in 5th. So
quite a solid couple of races for him as well, wasn't it, in terms of points and finishing.
Yeah, another good thing is that all 10 cars that started are still running. So Sharman's in the points there in 10th.
Yeah.
Dom Stormer's dropped back to 9th after that. As Chrissy Palmer, as Melvin starts his final lap of the race as the race leader. Was Chrissy Palmer a few laps ago, and through through his own fault, no contact. He lost the rear end of the car and lost the lead.
Very nearly took out Harry
can
in the process.
Oh, as Renberg loses the rear end while we're talking about it, it nearly gets collected by Curran, who are also teammates. And if we could go back up to Roland Stallman, because he's having a bit of a battle with Bjorkman at the moment. And again, we know this is coming into the last couple laps. It's almost like as we switch the camera, stuff happens, isn't it? And don't forget, everyone, you can vote for Driver of the Day if you want to. Just type their name in the comments box, whether you're on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube, and they will get an additional championship point if they get the most votes. So always worth doing. Oh wow, look at that Porsche go. Now Roland's doing it. I wonder if they've got some kind of setup issue that's making that Porsche very twitchy. It's like you say, so unlike them.
It's like there's no giving it whatsoever.
It is kind of quite a hard car to drive anyway, particularly in the rain. But well, shall we get the camera over onto Melvin, ready for him to cross the line? Because that can't be far away. Chrissy Palmer's 9 seconds back, so he's actually dropped back further. But well, what a debut race night for him with the InGear Motorsport team. Now, other interesting thing is, although we have had less drivers, the sort of the core group and the fast drivers from Spa that were racing at the front are all here with Bjorkman, Chrissy, Dom. So quite cool as well. We've got a mix of German, Swedish, English, Scottish, and a few others that join the server as we go. So really is the Euro Series that's targeted in the name, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's great.
Well, rounding off his lap then, the InGear Motorsport driver for the first time tonight, Harry Melvin, looks like he's going to cross the line and take the race win. Awesome job by Melvin there, crosses the line to take the win, and after a strong podium in the first race, goes even better to take the win in race 2. Good job by him. All right, next up coming through will be Chrissy Palmer. After that little hiccup, still hangs on to P2, so it's an InGear Motorsport 1-2. As I said earlier, I don't get to say that all that often, which you might be surprised to hear if you've only just watched this for the first time. Heath then comes in P3, so another solid result for Heath there. You know, some real good championship points there for him. I know a few of the guys who quite like this track that will go well here that aren't here as well. So there's some serious point gains for the likes of Heath in that tonight, which is good for him, you know. As we saw Danny Price smash into the wall across the finish line there.
God.
There we are. That bonnet will definitely be damaged, Mr. Race Director. Now we don't want to look at that one. As the rest of the guys start to come across the line. Let's have a little look. Danny Price is doing all sorts of skids and things at the moment. I think we should jump onto that if we're not already. I can't see. Let's see some big burnouts and drifts and skids going on, shall we?
Oh, he's gone back in.
Oh, he's gone back in. We will try. Okay, so final finishing order then. Looks like it's just coming up. Yeah, so Melvin, Palmer, Heath. Now that means Chrissy's going to have some serious ballast moving into the next race. So he was already on, 25. He's going to get another 10. So he's going to have 35 kilos of ballast. We cap it at 50, so we don't let anyone get above 50.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Yeah. So, but Chris is going to love that when it comes to the next race. Bjorkman's ballast will be cleared for the next race because he finished 4th and he will pick up 5 kilos. So that'll keep things interesting. And if you're kind of new to this,
it's a 90-minute race next time as well.
No, one after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, that's where I'd be being Christy and being a bit tactical then.
Yeah, if you're going to be off the podium, it'll be for that one.
Yeah.
I do think Dom can't do that race as well, so that'll have to be his drop score race. So he'll be needing all the points in these races. Obviously, he did get some points there. I think he came 9th, so he will get a couple of points still in both races, which was good. Right, well, we'll have a little bit of a think about some interviews in a second, shouldn't we? We could try that replay just to see, so we know for future as well. It was just when Melvin got past Chrissy earlier on, so I don't know if we're okay to give that a go. Cool, so that should start playing now for everyone. I'll take it from the expletives in my ear, that didn't work. Okay. Yeah, we'll look into that one. If anyone has any advice for us with that type of stuff, let us know, because we're always open to ideas with this. We did used to be able to get it to work, but there's not like an in-game function for replays. If anyone's kind of wondering what's going on there, so we're always limited by what the game lets us do, essentially. Well, I'm going to have a little bit of a think about who we have a quick chat to.
Oh, hurry up.
That'd probably be a good idea, wouldn't it? Just waiting for this game to close. Right, well, I'm just rearranging all my commentary box screens. Give me a moment, and then we'll see if Harry can come up for a chat. I might bring Christy up at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Oh, yes. Cool. Right. Let's see. So Chrissy and Harry's down there. Hello, boys. Harry and Chrissy. You both there? Hello. Or you run away from?
Yeah, I can hear. I can hear.
Good stuff. Well, nice job. 1-2 in that. I think Chrissy will probably be. Well, I'll go to you in a minute over that. But yeah, Harry, how was that for first night on the InGear Motorsport side of things? Welcome to the Orange life.
Took me by surprise, really. Obviously, with the first race, I think I could have qualified a little bit higher, but I was just getting quite unlucky with the track limits. Managed to work my way up to, I think it was second at that point in the first race, and then after an unfortunate just coming together, I managed to catch up to Bjorkman and finish third in the end. So that was happy days. And then race 2, it was good fun. Like, it was just mainly just cat and mouse with Chrissy the whole way around. Sort of trying not to force the mistake, but I think that's the way it ended up in the end. But
yeah, it's good.
Race.
You're running like quite close together for a while, which is easier said than done in any racing, but sim racing especially at times with the way it works. So, no, good stuff, both of you. It was nice, good racing. Chrissy, how did you find those races tonight? And obviously, good points haul for you in the championship as well, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not getting points for this championship now anyway, am I? So it's not the end of the world. But
oh, no, you will. You just don't keep the ones from the other car. So that's your drop round. So you're still kind of in it. That was just your drop scores used.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, so in that case, even better.
Change of answer.
Great points. Great points for the race today. And yeah, it was great fun as well. I changed my pressures by 0.1 for the second race, and I don't think it helped.
Yeah, but still, yeah, like you say, good points haul. Just a quick thanks as well that you both managed to get a livery and stuff sorted out that's orange and works for the team. I normally try and help out with that side of it a bit more, but the last couple of days have been a bit hectic. So thank you for doing that. They look very nice. Good to see the purple and gold and red all out there with the orange. But how much did you find it helped last night, just sort of having a bit of wet weather testing, and did you do much with the setup? It's probably the last thing I'd ask.
It felt much better having done a bit of testing last night, because I've actually not driven Paul Ricard on this game before. I've driven it on other games, but just to get used to like the physics and like the tyre model and stuff in this game, with the track, even though we were running on slicks with slightly higher pressures, just to try and sort of help with that wet weather. Just giving myself that bit of time to get familiar with the track, it definitely helped out. And then obviously with like setup changes and stuff as well, we changed from last night into tonight. Yeah, it definitely helped 100%.
And yeah, on that note, I've got to say thanks to Badgers for the setup there, because I had no setup at all, and he gave it to me, so that was nice of him.
Yeah, he hit you up. I can back him as well on that one. I had no setup either, and he completely gifted me with that one. So thank you.
Cool, and yeah, you know, first race, obviously a bit of contact, but when we looked at it back, I mean, see what you think, but it did just look like you kind of both two didn't go into one and a little bit of contact, but yeah, most of the race was brilliant to watch.
Yeah, so. No, I was saying to Kirk after the race, I watched the replay back just to see what did happen, but it looked like the second he went to turn in, I possibly turned in like a tiny bit after him. We just had that unfortunate connection and caused the incident. But no, he let me back through. Good sportsmanship. And yeah, just happy really.
Yeah, no, good stuff. I mean, yeah, mega debut. Cool. All right. Well, I'll let you guys go and chill out, and I'll come catch up with you in a minute. So I'll move you back down, and I'll see you shortly. But yeah, thanks and well done again.
Yeah,
Thanks, Buff. Thanks for a good
guys.
race as always.
Yeah, cheers, boys. All right. So
just see Roland's comment there on YouTube. Thanks for the rain, no problem. You did a good job though. So
yeah, to be fair, it was decent points for Roland.
Yeah,
well, I guess
really
he had a
good.
bad incident at the end though, didn't he? Where he lost it, but
still.
Yeah, same corner as Dom. I guess like father, like son. They both had it at the same corner, but yeah, nice racing throughout for everyone tonight. I think there was some really good moves,
Yeah,
really good battles. Yes, a little bit of contact here and there, but that's just exactly how real racing is.
Just how it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't. There was never any what I would describe as stupid, unnecessary contact.
No. Yeah, no, I think it was mega.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess it's time to wrap things up. So, birthday live stream's done.
Birthday live stream. Tick.
Thanks for still doing it on your birthday.
That's right.
Good to have you here.
Didn't have much else to do, in all honesty. So, no.
Well, yeah, lockdown life, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's cool anyway.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, and for everyone watching, thanks to Ben and George in the background as always. I know we give you a bit of stick, but we were about to do it if we didn't have the support from everyone. So, yeah, thanks, guys, and anyone in the live chat still watching as well. Thank you for joining in. We'll be back in a couple of weeks' time. Don't forget, if you want to join the Discord, we do our fun races on the off week as such, which will be next Tuesday. So that's Snetterton. So we're focusing on the new British tracks at the moment for the fun races. Once we get through those, we'll do something else. And then we'll be back at Hungaroring for the next Euro Series race, as I say, in 2 weeks' time. So thanks very much for watching, and we will see you then.
Ain't shady, baby, I'm hot, like the prodigal son.
There we go, green lights, camera off once again.
Big up battle, eeny, meeny, miny, moe, and flower. You're the chosen one.